Now, the last region in Ontario that has not opened up further is Windsor-Essex due to outbreaks amongst migrant farm workers. But today, Premier Doug Ford announced the city of Windsor and the surrounding municipalities can reopen as of midnight, except for Leamington and Kingsville. The Premier also announced stepped-up, expanded mobile testing at all farms and new inspections. 3 migrant farm workers have died in Ontario. They went into quarantine when they arrived in this country, so they became infected with COVID-19 in Canada. Today, Doug Ford spoke about reports of verbal racist attacks against them.
Let me tell the people that ever have a racial slur, those vegetables you're eating is because of these migrant workers. Those fruits that you're eating that we can grow in greenhouses because of the migrant workers. And if you don't appreciate the migrant workers, then you go out in the fields and start working your back off when it's 100 degrees out in the middle of the summer.
The NDP today is accusing the Ford government of not doing enough to protect migrant farm workers.
We've gotten to the point where farm families are actually being threatened. This is all because Mr. Ford refused to act early on and take control of COVID-19's ravaging of the migrant workers that were working on farms. But of course, only when things became out of control is when the Premier finally stepped up to do something. That's exactly what he's been doing consistently throughout this COVID-19 crisis.
However, the NDP also had to apologize to the Premier today when Taras Natashat, who's the MPP for Essex, Windsor-Essex, called the Premier a piece of, well, you can guess, after this heated back and forth in the legislature.
He actually called you out by name. Now, order.
I try to hold myself to a higher standard, and today my frustrations and my fears for my community definitely got the best of me, and I apologize.
The Premier said he forgave the MPP and that they should just move on. Now, I wanted to mention long-term care numbers. They're certainly a sign that the threat of COVID-19 is far from over. In the past 2 weeks, 41 long-term care homes have reported new outbreaks. 2 weeks prior to that, it was only 14. The health minister said they are keeping a close eye on the situation. And many families say when they go for scheduled visits to see their loved ones, which they're just allowed to do now in the last few days, the long-term care homes are asking for documented proof they have tested negative for COVID-19. The ministry says there has been some confusion about that, but relatives do not have to give proof, just verbal confirmation.